Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the map Fault Line, one of the most covered maps on this channel because it's one of the most misplayed maps in the game. We're going to be in the Marley. We're going to be on the southeast spawn this time. Usually it's the south side of this map that has no idea what's going on, and they usually get slaughtered. Like the north, I keep asking them what the stats are, the win rate is from the north. They don't want to tell me. I assume that's because it's massively overloaded in Red's favor in this case. But if the North plays semi-competently and the South plays as they usually play, which is misallocating the resources, the North team should slaughter the South team. If both teams play properly, which I'm going to explain to you how to do it, then you'll have a good match. But basically what's happening here, we're in the southeast. Directly to the north of us, we have 3 ships. And then about 1 grid to the east of their position, they have 3 more. So they spawn with a 6-on-3 over here. We got 3v3 all the way to the west. And then our south center spawn, if they do as this destroyer is going to do, which is move forward and then play what I call the lake, the circular center, and support this, then they cancel out the 6v3 that red has over here. Again, if all 3 south center spawn ships move forward and attack the ships that we're going to begin to see to the north, then it's a 6v6 over here. Then you're going to have a good match. But almost always what they're going to do is what the battleship's going to do. It turns directly west and then sails over there, trying to create a 6-on-3. But our 6-on-3 takes several minutes to create. To get to the south center spawn to the west, takes about 3 to 5 minutes. They, on the north, have a built-in one. They're already on a 6-on-3 overload here, and they should slaughter us. All they have to do is push aggressively south, and usually they're going to be 6-on-3 and they'll kill us very quickly, then get on the base and the game will be won. So that's how it usually plays out. Shimakaze, he's the destroyer moving into the center lake. He's going to do a good job, and he's going to do exactly what we need him to do: spot the red team. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to stop here. I'm going to turn, pointing away, ready to disengage, and you got to be very careful of that island directly to the south of me on the map. Very easy to hit that thing, especially when the situation gets hot. Fletcher, I don't really dig this play, but he actually makes it work for the first half of the game or so. He has a pretty effective game. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I think the Lightning, if he's spotting our Fletcher, I think the Lightning is using the sonar, and I think our Fletcher has the slot 3 range boost of the proxy spot, the RGA or whatever the heck it's called. Because unless that Lightning's shooting and the Shima's spotting him, I don't really know why the Lightning is permanently spotted like this. So I feel like the Fletcher has that mod on there. I would never recommend a destroyer use that. I would always pretty much go concealment mod, maybe steering gears if you're in like a Kaba or something really goofy. But I would never personally recommend doing that. But when you run into a ship that's actually using it, it kind of catches you off guard, and once in a while it can work. But again, it's not my recommended play. But anyways, this basically what we're going to do is try and plug up this hole. Because again, anytime you're on a side that's being overloaded, 6v3, 4v3, 5v3, whatever it is, your job, slow these guys down, let your strong side take them out, resolve that side, and then push back and help you out. Lightning, we go ahead and keep him radared here since we noticed he was pulling out. And usually with the cruiser in low destroyer count games, I'm willing to trade the cruiser. I don't really like trading my own ship because I'm more confident in my own abilities than a lot of my randoms. But if we got a 1 destroyer game or a 2 destroyer game and we trade a cruiser for a destroyer, usually the team that has more destroyers will win the side. But note, we got the destroyer and the Fletcher got the Bismarck with his ambush that he was setting up. So we've traded what usually is a 6v3 overload here. We've killed 2 of them, so they're down to 4 ships, and we got the Shima supporting, and then Alaska's finally moving forward. He picked up his anchor after about 5 minutes, and he's moving forward. Now, unfortunately, he's going to go directly in the base, which is going to cause problems, as we'll see. But effectively, we got 5 ships, and they got 4, so we've actually countered their overload, and, you know, we're in a position to wipe these guys out. If all 5 of these ships that are in the center/eastern part of the map attack these guys with vigor, and that would require the Fletcher to be spotting, the Shima to continue to spot, and then all these other ships to shoot at these guys. we can wipe this side out, and then we can win the game comfortably, which would be a hard win from the south. It's not that easy to win from the south. But look what's going on the west. Now, we sent an extra ship over there to get a 4v3, but one of the battleships that spawned over there, he's just trading places. So essentially, for the first 5 minutes, we're going to put one battleship from the center, move it all the way to the west, and move one battleship from all the way to the west to the center. Misallocation of resources, not pressing numerical advantages, which is huge. This game, if you want to do well in World of Warships, recognize where the numerical advantages lie, where the numerical disadvantages lie. And if you're in a disadvantage like we were to start the game, we're trying to slow them down, disrupt their plans. When we're on overload, then we're the aggressors usually. If you're up huge on the score or something, maybe you don't want to be that aggressive. But that's kind of how the flow is designed to change throughout the game. So, unfortunately, our overload is just being really passive, and they're actually going to get wrecked over there. The Alaska, the cruiser that spawned in the middle, he's going to go directly into the base, in between all their ships over there, get killed, and we're going to have some problems. Fletcher, we hit the Alaska with torps, we got this guy with AP, and then the Fletcher finished him off with torpedoes. So again, very risky play for the Fletcher to be making. You don't want to get really close to cruisers, especially ones that have sonar, and especially not ones that have radar. Alaska, the guns are always a little wonky, so it's not the best destroyer kill known to man, but you don't want to be that close to it in general. But he got the Bismarck, he got the Alaska, so not a bad start to the game for the Fletcher. I don't endorse the play. I don't think it's a play that's going to work usually, but it works in this instance, and he did a pretty good job. Now, Shima, look what's going on here. He's bum rushing a Monarch back there, and he goes down. Now, how could a Shima possibly go down from a battleship? He can't get spotted unless he willingly does it. And he can hit those torps. He doesn't have to be right up the guy's tailpipe to get the torps off, but that's the play he elected to do. The Monarch's actually going to dodge the torps, I believe. So the Shima just basically got bored and kind of wandered off. It's kind of like Tbull, but instead of getting high, he got bored and just wandered off. So that's unfortunate. That's because we had the 2-to-1 advantage when it came to destroyers. Now we're down to 1v1 destroyers, and the Fletcher, unfortunately, is not going to have the strongest game from here on out. He's going to basically go slowly forward, trying to get on the base, and then as we take a game that we're winning pretty handily, and then it winds up losing, I'm going to ping him a couple times, tell him to come back and defend the base, because he needs to recognize he can't capture the base. But we'll talk about that a little bit. And again, let's check the west side. They're not really doing much. Now, criticizing this play right here, what I'm trying to do is finish the Monarch off. I'm not getting the spotting, but even if I do, look at the health. I can't gun that thing down unless he stays behind an island and I can gun him down safely for minutes. I can't kill that thing. Fletcher can't kill him torping. You can't torp a battleship that's running away from you, especially not with like 60 knot torps or whatever, 58 knot torps that the Fletcher's got. So he can't really deal with this Monarch. I need to recognize that and say, okay, I can't do anything over here anymore. We actually did a great job to start, but the game's now going to be decided on the west. So I'm a little late to the party. Eventually, I'm going to recognize it. I'm still trying to maybe get a couple shots off. Basically, what I'm trying to do is follow him to the base and then hope that I am blocked by that island, and then I can gun him down that way. I'm trying to make a path for the Fletcher to get on the base because we're recognizing this isn't going to work. But I should have recognized and lesson learned. What I wanted to do there and what I can do there are two different things. Meanwhile, these battleships, we just lost one a moment ago. The Massachusetts you saw is getting low. But as I pull into position here, we're going to see the Iowa's fairly low. They're going to have a Grover, who's going to be pretty low, and then they got a Caba. Now, if I would have been over here just 2 or 3 minutes earlier, which I think, watching this back, I probably could have gotten over here at least a minute and a half, 2 minutes earlier. Maybe we could have combined firepower, gun this Iowa down. I'm looking at shots with the Caba first because we want to wound the destroyer whenever possible. Even though that's going to be a max range shot, we'd like to take it. But we recognize we're not going to get that. So we're going to try and use this protected firing against the Iowa here and help this Massachusetts. Again, it's going to be kind of too little too late. Numerically, 2 battleships should kill the 1 battleship. That's just part of the overload concept that we're talking about here. And they got the destroyer. If they need to get some spotting going or whatever, they got an extra tool. So again, this is a game that was looking pretty dang good, and the first half of the game was remarkable in the fact that the South team actually did a pretty good job. I'm not saying it never happens, but it's more common for the North to just steamroll that eastern side of the map. So I wanted to mainly highlight that, and then I wanted to show this second half how we lost it. And my play did contribute a little bit to the loss. I should have been a little bit quicker over there. Now we got problems. We got crossfire opportunities from the north, the Martel and the Monarch that we were previously kind of shadowing. They're causing problems. So if we got shots at the Martel, we're going to want to take those. We definitely want to remove that crossfire opportunity. And, he was pretty low as well. So it was an opportunity for us to potentially kill a ship, which we definitely need to be doing because we're down 200 points. We're down 2 ships, and the situation is dire in terms of team HP. So, again, this is a frustrating game. You can see we're clearly not going to win this one. I'll take a little bit of the credit. I think I should have moved to the west a little bit earlier, but I wanted to once again highlight how to play the south side of the map. Now, this is an interesting part, and this is when we're going to start pinging this guy and be like, defend the base. Capture the base mode is difficult, and it gets interesting when both teams are attacking the base simultaneously, but figuring out what are the opportunities in this point in time, end game type of capture the base mode thinking, kind of difficult, and it takes some experience. Fletcher, he's got a Martel, and he's got basically for all intents and purposes, a full health Monarch. Who knows what it is? 3/4 health. Fletcher's going to have a real hard time dislodging those guys. He's got to kill them both and capture the base. Capture the base takes 3 minutes. Killing both those guys probably going to take about 10 minutes. He needs to check the game clock and say, okay, that play is not possible, so don't pursue it. And that determination should have been apparent basically at the same time it was to us when we abandoned the Monarch, and we were a little late to the realization ourselves, again, admittedly, but the Fletcher it never occurred to him, unfortunately, and we could have used that ship over here. Now, it kind of boils down to we had an overload on the west, didn't press it, didn't really move forward. They just went over there, sat there, and then got pushed back into the base. But good job for the guys on the east. I thought that was a pretty good look at how you can counter that 6v3 that's inherently built into the eastern side of this map. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Anyway, that'll do it for that one. So if you did enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. We got lots of World of Warships coming all the time for you. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.